Hey guys, let's start with new chapter of Loyalpin Volume 1, Chapter 21, A Hairpin. The bedroom door is open wide, enough to see Princess Anil's thin body in a black cloth, which is now sitting in front of her mirror table to take her earring with focus. Pilantita took a deep, apprehensive breath before mustering the courage to firmly rap on the massive wooden door, signaling her presence to the room's occupant. As soon as she saw a glimpse of Princess Anil's face, she gazed suspiciously at her. Pilantita suddenly experiences shortness of breath. Princess Anil placed the removed side of the earring in a beautifully engraved jewelry box before gesturing to invite Lady Pen to sit down on the mattress instead of a long sofa at the end of the bed as usual. Kunpin, please take a seat first. Princess Anil's smooth face was difficult to read. It was as if a subtle force compelled Pilantita to comply with her instructions effortlessly and without resistance. Meanwhile, Princess Anil refocused her attention on removing the remaining earring, showing no sense of hurry. Pilantita gazed at her own reflection in the mirror, marveling at the stunning figure she saw before her. She was dressed in an entirely black outfit, which accentuated the flawless beauty of her body, making it appear even fairer than usual. Her lips, painted in a rich crimson hue, added to the overall charm of her face, rendering it even more striking, graceful, and exuding a sense of authority. For her, Princess Anil's beauty is sometimes as cute and bright as the midday sun, but sometimes is deep and profoundly mesmerizing, like the beautiful moonlight at night. At this time, the night beautifies Pilantita as to fall in a deep spell. The gentle demeanor of Princess Anil, when she removed the long strands of the earring and the necklace decorated with a beautiful ruby, was mesmerizing to look at. Princess Anil put the whole set of accessories in a box and then proceeded to sit quietly on the mattress opposite Pilantita. Princess Anil still smiles at her, as usual. The little difference will be that Princess Anil's beautiful, sweet smile has now turned blunt, as to be coated with bitter pills. I didn't expect to see you tonight, Kunpin. Is it too late? Pilantita frowns. No, I'm just surprised. I have something important that I want to talk about with you. Princess Anil curiously lifted her brows. What's it about? Not only did she not answer Princess Anil's words immediately, but this time Pilantita kept pretending to look away that way for a moment, before changing the topic of discussion stubbornly. Anil, have you already felt better from fever? Lady Pin asked softly and reached out to hold Princess Anil's soft, white hand with such a gentle touch. Yes, it's gone, Princess Anil said, pleading fondly, rubbing her thumb on the back of Pilantita's thin hand. I won't have a fever that would bother you again. Princess Anil's complaining voice has stirred up Pilantita's nervousness even more, knowing that since that night it was her who remained silent and let Princess Anil be held up by such ambiguous answers without the slightest chance to understand each other. Anil, I implore you not to speak in such a manner. Pilantita's grip on her hand tightened. Anil knows what has to do with Anil. I never feel bothered. Pilantita's beautiful brown eyes are now looking extremely serious, but when the sharp dark oval eyes looked back, it turned out to be her who had to look away first irresistibly. Upon witnessing this, Princess Anil smiled, revealing a broad, radiant grin. It marked the first occasion in days that Pilantita had seen her display such cheerful expression, showcasing her dimple. It was her who made that smile disappear, and it was also her who brought the beautiful smile back to Princess Anil's beautiful face, as usual. I haven't seen you for many days, Princess Anil said in a soft voice, moving her body closer to Lady Pen. Anil, Mrs. Kunpen? Pilantita slipped out of her shy smile before pretending not to know anything, as her usual act when she was attacked by Princess Anil's sweet words. I thought Anil would be so fascinated in Chiang Mai that you didn't want to go back to Bangkok. A trace of resentment flashed so clearly in Pilantita's clear brown eyes that Princess Anil could only pretend to laugh beyond anything. I'm still angry, Anil. About what? You never told me that you have a schedule to go to Chiang Mai? The sweet voice was stuck in many parts of the wayward horn. I mean, before Anil found out Prince Chakam was deceased. Oh, about that. No matter how much I want to tell you, aren't you the one avoiding me? Princess Anil raised a smile at the corner of her lips, like a winner. I don't know anymore. If Anil really wanted to tell me, you would find time to tell me. Pilantita argued stubbornly. So, can I tell you now? My mother and I were scheduled to go to Chiang Mai last week. It's too late, Anil. Is that so? The princess said in a laugh, while moving closer until her body was seamlessly overlaid with the touchy person's body realistically. Then, Khunpin, come to punish me? The gleam in Princess Anil's eyes appeared so captivating that it prompted Pilantita to redirect the conversation once more, as needed. How are the people in Kumchaufa? Asked Pilantita in a very cautious voice. They are still mourning, Princess Anil said while recalling Kumchaufa, which is now covered in a sad and gloomy atmosphere due to irreversible parting of Uncle Chakam. Aunt Dara Rai is incredibly resilient. She had readed herself, but it appears that Khun Engfa is still struggling. Then Anil must be tired of comforting. The stern voice at the end of Pilantita's sentence was so sarcastic that Princess Anil could recognize without difficulty. I'm not tired. I'm willing to do it, Princess Anil said with a sly smile before fearlessly meeting the cloudy green gaze of the person in front of her. Really? Pilantita's beautiful brows are now frowning. Yes, because Lady Engfa is my cousin. If I don't console her, then who will? Princess Anil continued to wear a teasing smile, almost as if she relished the sight of Lady Pilantita's expression, becoming more skewed. I just hope that you don't have to hug each other day and night. Pilantita raised her head high with an arrogantly low glance, but the person listening kept smiling. Not that much. When Kunengfa was asleep, I didn't hug her. Did you sleep in the same room? Pilantita was silent for a moment before asking Princess Anil's words in a cold tone. Yes, Princess Anil said in a smooth voice. At that time, the visitors in Khumchofa were overwhelming. Khunyong then offered Anil to stay in her room for several nights. If you count the accommodation in Khumchofa's big and small residences, there is no lack of rooms, as Princess Anil said. But when Lady Engfa, who is in grief, urges her to stay together in her room, it is difficult for Princess Anil to refuse easily. Doesn't mean that Princess Anil won't notice the strange attitude of her beautiful cousin, whether It's the way she looks at her when she's lost in thought, her affectionate words that occasionally carry subtle depth, on her charming demeanor when they are alone together. Princess Anil must pretend not to do anything, as if she was foolish without any clue. Pilantita's lovely countenance remains cool and flawless, yet her heart is anything but, as she possesses a deeper understanding of Lady Yangfa's thoughts than most. That's why she is so furious. In the same bed? Eventually, Pilantita finally asked it out bluntly. No, Princess Anil replied with a relaxed expression. Konengfa lay on the mattress beside her bed. No matter how many times I have invited her to come up and sleep together, she doesn't. Pilantita pursed her lips tightly and frustratedly for uncountable times. She hated the excessive generosity of the youngest princess of the Saftarat palace. Such an interrogation? Are you starting to be jealous of me? Princess Anil wanted to tease the pouty person as usual. However, this time Pilantita doesn't pretend to be ignorant like she usually does. Yes, I'm jealous of you. For a long time now. You also know I'm jealous, but pretended not to. Although her graceful eyebrows retained a slight frown, Pilantita's brown eyes appeared remarkably composed and steady. As for Princess Anil, who had initially intended to playfully provoke Lady Pen into a scowl, she found herself struggling to swallow the lump in her throat upon hearing Lady Pen's sincere confession. For the first time, Princess Anil chose to avoid the person in front of her and change the topic. That's right. I have important gifts for you, Princess Anil said in a clear voice before getting up to find something in her suitcase that was placed at the end of the bed. Pilantita's lips skewed when it became clear that Princess Anil was deliberately evading the conversation about Lady Engfa, her closest relative. Princess Anil searched for souvenirs for a short time and returned to the bed with two intricately carved wooden boxes. What's that, Anil? A hairpin. Aunt Dara Rai gave me a golden one and a silver one. Princess Anil opened the two wooden boxes. The first box is a tired silver hairpin with silver tassels hanging, looking very delicate and beautiful. The second box is a crown shaped gold hairpin with a tunic patterned with peacul flowers, as beautiful as a silver hairpin. With one glance, Pilantita knows how exquisite and valuable the two Lana hairpin carvings in front of her are. Probably because Princess Dararai has loved and adored Princess Anil, her niece, since she was a child. Therefore, such a precious gift was unregretted. Anil wants us to have matching hairpins, Princess Anil said, smiling before picking up the gold hairstick and handing it to Lady Pilantita. I can't accept such a precious thing like this, Anil. Pilantita looked closer and saw how precious it was, so she spoke without thinking. The adults gave you something. Can you refuse it? Anil is a younger than me. Have you forgotten? But if I really relate our titles, I am your youngest aunt. Have you forgotten? Princess Anil giggly said in a good mood, but her words didn't give Pilantita any compromission. When she couldn't argue, Pilantita only bit her lips tightly in a straight line. So Princess Anil grabbed the golden hairpin in her hand and gave her a sweet smile. Please don't make such a face like that. Anil will pin it for you, Princess Anil said, moving to sit overlapping Pilantita's back, so close that the other person began to be unable to breathe deeply. Sit still, Kunpin. Princess Anil whispered in Pilantita's red ear as she reached out and caressed the smooth, glossy black hair that stretched all the way to the middle of her back with a gentle touch. She then gently gathered Lady Pin's hair into a bun before using the stick to pin it, making it look so stunning. It's so beautiful, Kunpin, Princess Anil said as soon as Pelantita turned her head to look at her. An intricately patterned hair stick with tassels hanging down to clear the hair highlights Pelantita's sweet face to look more beautiful than she ever had imagined. Princess Anil raised her hand and touched on Pelantita's pink cheeks. As she was mesmerized, her twinkle eyes are full of love and desire towards Lady Pin, unable to disguise. Unexpectedly, Pelantita returned her gaze with the same intensity in her eyes, maintaining unbroken eye contact, unlike before. Princess Anil absent mindedly traced her finger over Lady Pin's lips. But from now on, Princess Anil swallowed her saliva with difficulty, feeling something overflowing when she then said the next sentence with a soft voice. This hairpin only belongs to you. Pelantita's tears welled up because she knew the deep meaning of a hair stick as a gift from Princess Anil better than anyone else. Now she could only hear her own confession crying over and over in her thoughts when the touch of Princess Anil's thumb continued to gently trace her lips without stopping. Her consciousness seems to fade away until she let out the sentence that was in her mind unconsciously burst. I used to tell you that I didn't know how I loved you. I lied. Actually, I know and have known it for so long. I know how I love you. Pilantita raised her gaze and locked eyes with the person before her for an extended moment. Then she brought her palms together and gracefully lowered her head into Princess Anil's shoulders, as if showing the utmost reverence. With a tender and hesitant touch, she pressed her lips to Princess Anil's soft cheeks, then gradually extended her arms to encircle her delicate waist. Finally, she buried her face in Princess Anil's chest. At this moment, Princess Anil stood bewildered by the unexpected turn of events. Pelantita held her embrace firmly, her voice resolute and unwavering as she spoke. From now on, this hairpin is mine, while Pelantita belongs to Princess Anil only. That's it for this chapter, guys, and I see you soon with new chapter of Loyal Pin Volume 1. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. It really helps support the channel and keep me motivated. Thank you.